God is dead. You've heard this line before. It's quoted on t-shirts, in movies, in debates. But most people never ask, what did Nietzsche really mean? Was it a joke? Was it an attack on religion? Or was it a prophecy? The truth is darker than most imagine, because Nietzsche didn't say it with celebration. He said it with fear and with grief, because he knew that the death of God would not just shake religion, it would shake the very foundation of human life. When Nietzsche declared God is dead, he wasn't speaking about a literal deity. He was speaking about belief, the collective faith that had guided humanity for centuries, the moral compass that came from Christianity, from religion, from the idea that life had a higher purpose. But Nietzsche saw the modern world moving in a different direction. Science was advancing. Reason was replacing tradition. The Enlightenment had put logic and evidence above faith. And slowly, humanity stopped believing. Nietzsche looked at this shift and realized, if people no longer believe in God, then everything built on that belief will begin to collapse. Morality, meaning, purpose, all of it, slipping away. For thousands of years, people found comfort in religion. They believed life had direction, that suffering had meaning, that morality came from above. But now, the anchor was gone. And Nietzsche asked the question most were too afraid to ask. If God is gone, who decides what is right and wrong? Who gives meaning to life? What happens when there is no higher truth left? Nietzsche predicted a crisis called nihilism. A world where nothing matters, where people drift without purpose, where life feels empty and meaningless. And he saw something terrifying. He saw the birth of the last man. The last man doesn't dream. He doesn't strive. He doesn't fight for greatness. He wants comfort, entertainment, safety. He avoids struggle, avoids pain, avoids risk. Nietzsche described him like this: the last man blinks, a dull creature satisfied with mediocrity, alive but not truly living. And Nietzsche warned that if humanity did not rise above nihilism, if it did not create new values after the death of God, we would all become the last man. But Nietzsche did not stop with despair. He gave us a choice. He believed that within this crisis, there was also a chance for something higher. If the old values had collapsed, then maybe humanity could create new ones. Not values given by priests or traditions or society, but values created by the strong, by those brave enough to stand alone. This is where Nietzsche gave us the idea of the Übermensch, the overman. The Übermensch is not a superhuman with powers. It is the human who creates meaning in a meaningless world. The one who takes responsibility for life without excuses. The one who dares to say, if there is no God to give me purpose, then I will give purpose to myself. Think about it. Most people today chase comfort, endless distractions, entertainment, likes, followers, but deep inside, they feel empty. Nietzsche saw this coming. He knew that without God, people would search for replacements, ideologies, politics, consumerism. Science turned into dogma. Anything to avoid the terrifying truth that life has no ready-made meaning. But Nietzsche also believed that this truth, as terrifying as it is, could be liberating. Because if there is no fixed meaning, then we are free to create one. So what did Nietzsche really mean when he said God is dead? He meant, we killed our old source of meaning. We destroyed our own foundation. And now, the weight is on us. The question is no longer, what is God's purpose for me? The question is, what purpose will I create for myself? Nietzsche's words were not an attack. They were a warning and a challenge. God is dead. We killed him. Now the world waits for what comes next. Will humanity collapse into nihilism, becoming the last man? Or will we rise to become the creators of new values? To live with courage, to live with purpose, to live as if our lives truly matter. The choice is ours.